Hey freelancers, William here with the 100 Wreaths video at long last. In this video, as the title describes, we're going to show you how to find all 100 Wreaths in Anthem, but this is exclusive to the Icetide event, which will be going on for about 30 more days. Now, two quick things as a heads up. First and foremost, this event is still bugged, which means one or two wreaths will always show as you have not collected them. Don't worry, this video goes over all 100 wreaths. I didn't forget anything. What you're going to have to do is swap over to another pilot, and basically what that means is you're going to have to go through a little bit in the campaign to access Freeplay, but once you've done that, you can pick up any random wreath in Freeplay. That should complete your quest, and if not, be sure to contact EA Help for support. The other thing is, again, I am so sorry for this video going out so late into the event. My game plan was to have this go out before New Year's, but I was on holiday, and before I went on holiday, the game plan was to make the video. Well, all my footage got corrupted. Regardless, we're not going to waste any time. We'll show you all the rewards and stuff at the end of the video, because this is going to take a minute. I really did work hard on this video, so if you guys think it's worthy, please be sure to leave a like and maybe share it amongst your freelancer friends, because this did take a hot minute to re-record all the wreaths and then compile them into this video. Without further ado, let's get into it. I first recommend you spawning to the gates of Fort Tarsis because, well, we're gonna do the high road first. Your first wreath will be located directly behind you, which, I mean, I don't know how you could miss. Simply pick it up, and then your next wreath is located to the left of one of the turrets, directly in front of you. From there, what you're going to do is fly all the way around the side of Fort Tarsis and go to one of the Legionaries' tombs. Now, the reason why you're not seeing it on my map is because I had to do this on my alt account because, as I said before, I did them all on my main account. Anyways, the wreath is located above the Legionaries' tomb. Simply pick it up and we can move on. If you want, you can respawn at Fort Tarsis if that makes things easier for you all, which I personally found that it did. From there, take a hard left and go to the Watchtower of Wreath. Keep going left and then fall down underneath the bridge where you find a shrine of a ranger with his sword in the ground. The wreath will be on this ranger's sword. Moving on, at the top of some ruins, you will find a reception tower rod thing, which will have one of the wreaths on it. To try and cut down on some of the time this video is going to take, what I will do from here on is show you where it relatively is on the map and show you where you can pick it up. Hopefully, this will be enough for you to triangulate where it's at, but apologies, I really just don't want this video to go on forever. I try to save your time, so you will hopefully give me your time. From there, you're going to fly roughly around where the Rust Bowl is and go deep inside the Scar area. The next wreath should be located where the Rust Bowl ends, and it will be latched onto the side of what I'm calling a patio deck for the Scars. If that is not enough detail, hopefully this location on the map will help. From there, fly back, and the next wreath will be on one of the archways. Once you fly out of there, take a look to your right, and on a circular platform thingamajig, you will find another wreath. From there, fly out of the Scar area, and there will be another, I guess we're calling them antennas. Another antenna tower will be right there, with the wreath in tow. From there, it's not but a short flight away to one of the Sentinel marker flags, where the next wreath will be located. And that marks the end of all the high road wreaths. Congratulations, you made it through about 10% of all the wreaths you have to get. What I recommend you doing for the wreaths for the Academy Ruins is go all the way back to Fort Tarsis once again. You're going to fly a little ways away until you reach the first refuge, and underneath one of the bridges will be your first wreath. If you don't know where that is, check the map for the rough location. Not far from there, another wreath will be located inside of one of the snow globes on one of the bridges. Again, I will show that on the map here. Your next location will be the Solarium Court, where one of the wreaths will be located on the top of Artem Vasa's head, or at least one of the statues of Artem Vasa. Another one is still located within the court, and that is at the Astronomy Tower on its arch. Next up, fly over to that giant Shaper ring still within the court's relative vicinity, and it is located up top on the first ring. From here, you can either fly over to the nearby Strider, or you can simply respawn on it, but the next wreath in the Academy Ruins will be located on the Strider's mouth. If you're looking on your map, go to the 1 o'clock position on the right of the Strider, following the river. You'll reach the garrison where another wreath is located on one of the archways. Now you can either respawn at the Strider or just fly all the way down to where the Academy Ruins lettering is on the map, and the next wreath is located on one of the Shaper relics. The location on the map will appear right now. And not too far away from that, there is an archway to one of the tunnels, and of course the wreath is on that. The final wreath for Academy Ruins is located on one of the archways closer towards the far bottom right of Academy Ruins. I know that's not a great descriptor, but you can see it on the map here. And with that, Academy Ruins is done. Once more, respawn at Fort Tarsis, and we are going to go to the far right for the Valley of Tarsis Wreaths. The first one is going to be located all the way on the far side of Fort Tarsis at the Strider Gate, and it's going to be all the way at the top of one of the arches. From there, fly towards the Governor's Springs, and on one of the Shaper relics that acts as some sort of archway, you will find the next wreath. If you hang a slight right, you will find your next wreath in the crop terraces on one of the buildings. From there, fly into the giant snow globe, and it will be located on one of the buildings. In particular, the first center building you come across, the wreath should be pretty obvious. From there, fly at about a 3 o'clock position towards one of the archways where your next wreath will be held. From there, fly over to the Palisades of Idris, where that giant waterfall can be found. Now, this wreath is not actually underwater or on the waterfall, it's actually on one of the Shaper relics that is partially submerged. From there, fly a little bit down a ways, about 7 or 8 o'clock position, and you'll still be near Idris, but on one of the giant ranger statues near a waterfall, you will find the next wreath on this giant sword, as per the usual, located on the map. From there, fly a little ways towards the Valley of Tarsis lettering, and directly in front of you there should be a cavern. Fly underneath it, fly underneath the waterfalls, and you will find yet another wreath. If you don't know where that is, as always, I have left it on the map on your screen. Hook around that area and take a hard left down Strider Way, and you will find another wreath on one of the antenna towers. From there, simply fly down to the end of the map, and you will find it located right above the locking mechanism. And with that, we have concluded the Valley of Tarsis Wreaths. Now, for once, I'm recommending you not go back to Fort Tarsis, but you can, though the Valley of Tarsis is really close to the Eastern Reach, and especially the Anthem Lock. Not to mention, you are already nearby the first Eastern Reach Wreath. Wow, try saying that 5 times fast. The first wreath is located underneath the breach, on one of the bent-over sentinel flags. Odds are you have flown by this wreath 100 times without noticing it, because, well, it's pretty well camouflaged. Though it isn't the worst one on this list by far. Keep on flying up to the Scar Settlement, where at the top of one of their towers is the next wreath for this region. From there, keep on flying up to the Eastern Reach letters on the map, and where the Eastern Reach Overlook box is, you will find your next wreath. Start flying down to the Lost Road, and at one of the Scar checkpoints, you can find a wreath located on one of these scrapped-together buildings made by the Scars. It is located on the R in Eastern. From there, fly to where the Stone Canyon Run is, and located on one of the trees near those wasp bee things will be yet another one of your wreaths. Next up, fly to the far right where the Scars Dusk Heap is, and a wreath will be located underneath one of their tunnels. Though that isn't the only one from the Scar Settlement. The other one is located on the gate to the heap. And before you head out of Dusk Heap, there will be another wreath located on one of the Sentinel flags that are bent over. This is located towards the edge of Eastern Reach. You will find another wreath inside of yet another Scar Settlement on one of the makeshift Scar Shaper relic things. If you don't know where that is, as always, consult the map on your screen. The last one for Eastern Reach will be located in between the Pistons and the Lost Road on one of the Shaper archways. This one more particularly is located from the Lost Road going into the Pistons, which thus concludes the end of the Eastern Reach Wreaths. Moving on, we are now at the East Gate Wreaths, and I do recommend you respawning on the East Gate Strider. Your first wreath for this region is located on the mouth of the Strider, and if you head directly behind it, you will find your next wreath on one of the Shaper relics in Lover's Spring. Fly back towards the Strider, and towards the letters of East Gate. Fly to the right to that high up Shaper Relic with the broken down scar bridge on it, and at the bottom of the Shaper Relic's mouth, you will find that beautiful wreath. Go down from there to the Skystone Mine, and on one of the platforms there, you will find yet another wreath, but that isn't the only one for this area. The next one for that area will be located on the platform. Near the bottom of the platform towards the edge, you will find your next wreath. Now fly down towards those shipping containers where the outlaws typically hang out, and another wreath will be located on the double open-ended crate. From there, fly down to Skystone Pass, where towards the highest part of that high scar tower, you will find another wreath on one of the scaffolding antenna things that the scars do. You know, you get the point. From there, fly down towards the Scars Fortress, and at the entrance archway to this fortress, you will find another wreath. Thankfully, you don't actually have to go into the fortress to find any more of them, as the next one will be located directly behind it on one of the watchtowers. The last one is located towards the top, where Eastgate goes into the Emerald Abyss, and it is on one of the scar platforms on one of the jotted out pieces of metal. I know that's not a great descriptor, but check the map on your screen, and that concludes all the Eastgate wreaths. Congratulations, freelancers, we are 50% of the way through this video, and by now you should have a Winter's Tale completed. If not, that means you have to hop onto one of your alt accounts to go and collect some of the wreaths for whichever areas didn't register. Now once again, don't respawn, as we are going to be doing the Emerald Abyss wreaths. Now ordinarily you could teleport to the tomb, I'm assuming that's Karif's tomb, in the Sanctuary of Dunnar, though like I said before at the beginning of this video, I had to use my alt account which did not have access to the tombs. But if you just fly towards that giant snow globe, you will be fine as well. Located at just about the brim of the snow globe on one of the archways to the far right, you can find one of the wreaths. From there, fly to the very front of the castle, and a little ways down, you can find another wreath on one of the archways, but it is lower to the ground. Next, fly to the far left of the castle, but still front-facing, you will find another wreath on yet another archway for this castle. Luckily, from there, you are done with the castle. From there, you can start flying down the lake towards Razor's Edge Run, and on one of the ruins' doorways, you can find another wreath. After that, go on ahead and go through that Shaper Relic that's spouting the waterfall, and once you emerge, directly behind you will be yet another wreath. Keep on flying down the river and head towards that giant, I call it a Shaper battery, though I know that's not what it is, and drop all the way down behind it. Most of you know where this area is, but it's really hard to explain exactly where it's at, so check the map, but it's traditionally where a bunch of outlaws hang out, and on one of the sides of the bridge, you can find the wreath. Again, I would recommend you consulting the map for exactly where this is. Flying to the far left of the Emerald Abyss, towards the Guardians of Dunnar, near that giant monument where you help the Matthiases out, you will find the wreath on the opposite side where the statue is. You can find another one by flying towards the end of the map, and on the quote-unquote Christmas tree, you will find yet another wreath. From there, backtrack a little bit back to the Mentor's Trail, and you will find easily the most camouflaged wreath in this entire event, located on one of the roots of a giant tree. The easiest way to tell where it's at is a scar torch thing will be jabbed into the root, but I would highly recommend you consulting the map for exactly where this is. The last one for this area will be located near the Abyssal Lock, and you can find this wreath at the very top of one of those Shaper fly-down portal things. Yes, that is the technical term, Shaper fly-down portal thing. And after you pick up that wreath, you will be done with the Emerald Abyss. After you finish up with the Emerald Abyss, once again, don't go and take a Strider, because we're going to fly down that Shaper portal fly-down thingy towards the Iron Serpent, aka Monument's Watch. Once you have flown down that Shaper fly-down portal thingy, that's the last time I'm going to say it, I promise, you're going to find a wreath located directly inside the center of one of those snow globes, but not on the pole, but on one of the circular ledges. I know, that was a great descriptor. Pat on the back, William. Before you fly out of the snow globe, on one of the far-reaching antenna towers, you will find yet another wreath, and you can go from there. Underneath the giant Iron Serpent quote-unquote Shaper Relic, you'll find a wreath on the bottom level, hugging the giant center pole. Now if you fly directly to the left from there, on the far right piston, you'll find another wreath. After that, fly directly to the right, and on the far back wall of the Shaper structure, you will, as always, find a wreath. From there, fly directly across the courtyard to one of the antenna towers, which will have another wreath on it. If you're having trouble finding where that is, as always, check the map on your screen. From there, fly towards the edge of the map near those two smaller Shaper relics. Located on both will be a wreath each. After you complete that, fly to the complete opposite side of Monument Watch, near the two what I like to call fangs of Monument Watch. The first wreath will be located towards the entrance of the Bane engine, and the other one will be located on the other side of the fang, near the Giant's Crossroads. Again, consult the map if you don't know what I'm talking about. Once you pick up that wreath, that will be the last one for Monument Watch. And it also means we can finally go to the ruins of Shadowmark, so go on ahead and hop that Shadowmark Strider. Directly underneath that Strider on its mouth will be a wreath as per the usual. Start flying down the tracks of Maderon, and located on one of the early human ruins will be a wreath. I know that might be a little confusing, as usual, check the map. After that, fly towards Helena's Walk, where on one of the Shaper relics will be, as always, a wreath. Start flying towards the ruins of Shadowmark lettering, and on one of the gazebos there will be another wreath. Once you're done with that, fly over to North Rock, and in the center of one of those ruin areas, you will find the statues of Helena's Javelin. On one of her spears will be another wreath. Exiting that area, you will find a wreath on the archway, guarded by two ranger statues. From there, fly back down the letters of the ruins of Shadowmark, and on one of the gazebos will be another wreath. Another wreath will be located near Crescent Lake, on one of the Shaper arches in the swampy region. The next wreath will be located back towards the tracks of Maderon, on one of the giant towers, where you will find another wreath located on the archway. After you're done with that, go over to Strider's Alley, and located on yet another one of the ruins, you will find a wreath. And thankfully, that marks the end of the confusing ruins of Shadowmark. Once again, hop the Shadowmark Strider, flying down to the Legionnaire's Ravine, where all that green, tasty water is. On one of the archways near the center, you will find one of the wreaths. In the Crosslands, you will find another wreath located on one of the archways leading into the Fortress of Dawn's near territory. Flying up through the Morning's Edge, where a lot of those Shaper relics are, you will find another wreath located on one of the Shaper relic archways. And if you hang a left from there, towards that giant ruin tower, to the right of the stairs, there is another wreath located on the archway towards the entrance. Start making your way towards the Fortress of Dawn, and on the gate of the entrance, you will find a wreath hugging onto it. Now inside the Fortress of Dawn, hang an immediate right, and on one of the ledges, you will find a wreath. This is one of the ledges in the courtyard. Again, consult the map if you don't know exactly where I'm at. From there, fly towards the center of the ruins, and in the courtyard, grab the wreath located on the left side archway. Thankfully, the next one is pretty easy peasy, as that wreath is located on the doors to the Fortress of Dawn itself. The last one for this region is, as always, located on one of the Legionaries' tombs, but if you don't have them unlocked or you don't know where they are, fly down to the right towards Darkwood Barrens, and on one of the glowing doors underneath the waterfall, you will find the wreath located directly smack dab in the middle of the door. For this last one, hop all the way back to Fort Tarsis, as we will be doing the Great Falls Canyon. Start flying down towards the Tears of Leotrel, near the Watchtower of Arath again, and on the Watchtower of Arath, there will be a wreath. If you keep in the Arath region, there will be some ruins with a giant tower, though even I got turned around a little bit, and it is located towards the top of the tower. Again, consult the map because this one was kind of difficult for me to find. Once you're done there, start flying towards Blackshore near that Scar settlement, and the next two wreaths are located back to back in this region. Both wreaths are located near that mess of Scar structures inside the canyon. Once you pick up the first one, simply drop down a little ways towards the next one. Literally both are located back to back. Next, fly down to the Edian Grove, and near the innards of the Edian tree itself, located on one of the vines, will be another wreath. From there, fly over to the Gathering Falls, and near one of the falls, a submerged Shaper Relic will have another wreath for you. But if you keep flying back from there towards more of the Shaper Relics, the third Shaper Relic in the back will have a wreath located on, you guessed it, its backside. If you keep flying towards the Double Cross, there will be another submerged Shaper Relic ring where another wreath will be located on it. Keep flying upwards towards Korok Shallows, and a wreath will be located on one of the towers. Lastly, fly down to the bowl, where on a giant Shaper Relic serpent will be the last wreath for this video. Now, I'm going to reiterate again, if you don't complete the Left Out in the Cold challenge, which is where you have to get all 100 wreaths after completing this video, again, it is not my fault. There is a bug in the game that prevents at least 1 to 3 wreaths from tracking. All you need to do is log on to an alternate pilot, get far enough into the campaign to where you can go into Freeplay, and then pick up any random wreath in that area. It's worth a few Champion of Tarsis points, and you'll get a little more exploration along the way, though that's no excuse for this bug to still exist. Now, by completing a Winter's Tale, which is 50 random wreaths, you get the wrap called Thermal Bind. Yeah, this is a really crappy reward and a really crappy wrap. It's just a bunch of brown with geometric shapes. Maybe it might be some of your taste, but it definitely isn't mine. You can see it on the screen here with the default Ranger with all white on it. I just wanted you guys to see what it was for what it was. The Left Out in the Cold one, where you actually have to get all 100 wreaths, is slightly better, I guess. This is something that I will never use, but if you equip a material where you have to pick the metal color like brass, silver, and so on, you will find the pink anode, and the pink anode really looks purple to me, not so much pink. That being said, I'm sure it's some of your cups of tea, though it definitely is not mine. It would make for some interesting accent colors, I grant you, but it just doesn't fall in line with my color scheme. But if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to leave a like, and if you aren't already, consider subscribing and commenting, as this video did take me forever to do. Not only because I had to go around and capture all the wreaths again, but because as I'm recording this, I've got an hour and 30 minutes worth of audio to cut down into the most concise video possible. But with that, I hope all of you fantastic freelancers have a phenomenal day as always, and I look forward to seeing each and every last one of you, hopefully in the next video very soon. And remember, freelancers, as always, we are strong alone, but we are stronger together with all those 100 damn wreaths. I mean, come on! 100 wreaths! 100! I never want to say that word again. Bye-bye, everybody.